It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on The Wine Ladies.
Hi everybody, it's us, the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome to the Wine Ladies One Sip at a Time. We're live here today in studio.
And of course, to all of our friends and fans on Facebook, Twitter, and thewineladies.com, as always, thanks for sending in all your questions and your comments. I also want to remind everybody that if you don't already like us on the Wine Ladies Facebook fan page, today would be a great day to do that, Suzanne, because we have a little contest going, and everybody that likes us, your name will go into the draw for a $25 gift certificate to our accessory store.
That's right. We've got awesome gifts for the holiday period, from beautiful gift bags to gorgeous, gorgeous chocolate, all specifically designed to marry up with wine. They're absolutely fantastic. So make sure you like us, and we will be drawing the winner on Sunday, November the 20th.
Right on. Now, also, Suzanne, another little order of business I'd like to take care of. I want to remind everybody about our Holiday Mix and Mingle event that's coming up on November 17th. Experience some wonderful wines from around the world, amazing appetizers, while we have an incredible entertainer there. It is taking place at the beautiful Rumi Galleries in Mississauga, November 17th.
Okay, it is going to be a great opportunity to mix and mingle, meet some new friends. You might need a mate. Mix a case. It's going to be a fantastic night. The doors open at 7 p.m. at Rumi Galleries in Mississauga. All right, so let's go on with the show.
Okay.
So as always, which is tradition on our show, we always toast. So let's raise our oversized glasses in cheers to today's show.
Cheers, everybody. And in our glasses, we have today the Burning Kiln. It's a new winery in the South Coast in Ontario. It is called their Strip Room 2010. It is a blend of a Cab Franc and Merlot. It is absolutely wonderful. It is very full. It's got intense plum and blackberry and cherry in it. Here it is. It is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful wine. Strip Room from Burning Kiln in Ontario.
Oh, you know what, Georgia? But we are actually going to deviate from the vine today,
Yes.
and we're going to take a little bit of a different path. And you know what? The reports are showing that there's actually a new beverage that seems to be winning the hearts of women everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, we all love chocolate and flowers and candles, but today we're going to be talking, believe it or not, about bourbon.
Bourbon, you say?
That's right, bourbon.
Yes, it's true. Now listen, just recently, Business Week magazine attributed this phenomenon to a group of professional women. They call themselves the Bourbon Women, who have become very enamored with this wonderful Kentucky sweet spirit, and they are hosting these bourbon tastings all over North America.
Okay, so joining us in studio today to give us the scoop on this phenomenon, this women's movement, is Kentucky's own bourbon expert, master distiller for Four Roses Bourbon, Jim Rutledge. Welcome to the Wine Ladies, Jim.
Thank you, and it's good to be here.
You were causing quite the sensation there with all the sirens going.
It sounded like quite a welcome.
It's welcoming you to Toronto.
So tell us, so we've heard through the grapevine that the Toronto women have also been getting involved in this bourbon women kind of wine, tasting parties. What's going on here? Why this great interest now in bourbon by the female population?
Well, I think over the recent years, we go back 20, 25 years, and the gender ratio was about 85% male drinkers, 15% female, and that's the gap has narrowed dramatically over recent years. It's now roughly 60-40.
Wow.
And there's more and more women drinking bourbon. There's more and more people around the world drinking bourbon. And a lot of the introduction to bourbon to new people are a result of premium bourbons that have been introduced, or first introduced in the 1980s, and single barrel bourbons, small batch bourbons have just illustrated that there is another whiskey around the world than Scotch. And it's introduced to so many new people, and a lot of women are drinking bourbon now. And another reason is
But why? Why are they drinking it?
Well, the cocktail craze also, and bourbon is a favorite of mixologists. It's so versatile. You mentioned just a minute ago the sweet drink from Kentucky. And bourbon is a sweet drink, and that is because bourbon is aged in a brand new barrel each and every time. Once a barrel is used for bourbon, it can never be used for that again, or if it's used for anything, it must be brand new. And we all use white oak barrels, which are very rich and abundant in natural sugars. So the sweet flavors from bourbon, come from the natural sugars that present in the white oak barrels that we use.
Okay, so bourbon is a whiskey, but not all whiskeys are bourbon. And that has to do with the regulations with the white oak. The barrel has to be only used once, or it has to be a brand new barrel. Are there any other sort of regulations that determine that what makes it a bourbon?
There are. Bourbon has to be made with at least 51% corn. That's just the minimum. Most bourbons are made with 75% to close to 80%.
Okay.
Has to be distilled at less than 80% alcohol. Must be aged in the brand new oak barrel each and every time. The barrel's charred on the inside.
Okay.
And the maximum strength that it can be aged in a barrel is 62.5%.
Now, are these all world standards? So anyone that makes bourbon?
Anyone that makes bourbon must be in the United States.
Okay.
So bourbon is a product distinctive to the United States of America.
Like champagne is of France, bourbon is of the U.S. Okay.
Exactly. And I think one of the most important requirements, at least to me, is the fact that bourbon cannot be adulterated in any way. Can't have flavors added, caramel, like most whiskey drinks, even tequilas, rums, that we use caramel, like a Scotch or a Canadian whiskey or American blended whiskey. All types of whiskey can use caramel to achieve the color, consistency. Some can have additives, flavor additives. Bourbon is 100% natural. What comes off the still goes into the barrel, what's aged in the barrel. When we come off the top of the still at a strength higher than barrel proof, we can reduce it in strength to the barrel proof with water. Ages in barrels, then we can add water to reduce it to bottle strength, and that's the only thing that can be done to bourbon.
Okay, so the
Only
color
water.
to bourbon comes from the aging in the barrels.
The char of the barrels.
Right, okay.
And the majority of the flavor, as I mentioned, the sweet flavors come from the natural sugars. And if you look at bourbon as a category, about 66% of all flavor in bourbon as a category comes from the aging process, the sugars of the wood.
I'm wondering, do they do like there's a lot of wine tasting parties. People do that type of thing. Do they do that with bourbon as well? Bourbon tasting?
Absolutely. I've been doing bourbon tastings, events across the U.S., in Europe, Japan, for a lot of years.
So you can join a bourbon club if you want.
If you want to.
Well, we got to join the Bourbon Women Club. That's the one we've got to get.
Like that.
Now, we had said, or you said at the top of the hour about the romance behind the bourbon. You were liking it to flowers and chocolate.
Well,
that
he's
have
got
here.
4 roses on his shirt.
Exactly.
Well,
you've got
pretty romantic to me.
Yeah, you've got a good story behind the name Four Roses. That's steeped in romance. So maybe you can tell us about that.
It is, and it is an unusual name for a bourbon whiskey, which for years had a masculine, macho type image, which was not fair, but that's the image of the old John Wayne type Western movies. But we actually started in the 1860s in Atlanta, Georgia. Right after the Civil War, a father and son, Paul Jones Sr., Paul Jones Jr., had opened a small grocery store and small distribution warehouse. Among other things, they were warehousing with tobacco products and all type beverage alcohols. And Paul Jr. became interested in distillation and eventually purchased a distillery near Atlanta. And during this same period of time, he was also courting a young lady in Atlanta. And after a period of courtship, he had decided to ask for her hand in marriage. And they agreed that the night of an upcoming grand ball that they were to attend together, that if she were to accept his proposal of marriage, she would signify so that evening by wearing a corsage of 4 red roses. And if the answer were no, she'd wear 3. So she wore the 4 roses, and in honor of the occasion, the passion and love, he named the whiskey that he was making 4 Roses. And
now that's true love, to have a drink named after you. I love that idea. Wow.
And Paul Jr. moved the company to Kentucky in 1884 after Georgia. Back in those years, there was a lot of states enacting statewide prohibitions, and Georgia was one of the first states. And that happened in 1884. He moved the Paul Jones Company to Kentucky, opened his first office on Main Street in Louisville, and back in those years, there were hundreds of small distilleries in Kentucky, many of them having their offices on Main Street, and eventually became known as Whiskey Row.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Well, I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more about this, but we're going to go to a quick break. You're watching The Wine Ladies here on thatchannel.com. A lot more to come with Jim Rutledge, and we're going to learn all about bourbon. I can hardly wait. We'll be right back.
Hey, Georgia. Hey, Suzanne. Welcome to Girls' Night Out. Did you remember the wine?
Of course, after all, we're the wine ladies.
We're in the kitchen, so what wine did you bring?
Well, for our girls' night out, we brought Girls' Night Out. I brought the Chardonnay. I brought the Merlot.
Well, my guy bought me this.
Too funny, the Rosé. Well, let the party begin.
Girls Night Out Wines. Hugely popular VQA wines best enjoyed with friends. Available at the LCBO and other fine retail locations. For more information, go to girlsnightoutwines.com.
Hey, Suzanne, it's the only machine that I need.
I know, it's a great workout in just a fraction of the time.
It made me get excited about workouts again.
Tzone Vibration is making people sit up and take notice. Employing the newest technology and fitness equipment, Tzone Vibration gives you an hour workout in just 10 minutes.
Try it. Believe it. You'll want to bring one home.
Tzone Vibration.
Call 905-483-8676. Tzone Vibration, 905-483-8676. In Beauty Med Spa is constantly researching the latest innovations from around the world and bringing them home to you. It's a wonderful meeting of Eastern philosophies of skin and body care with exciting and innovative Western technology. All the In Beauty Med Spa health and wellness programs are medically supervised. A physician and dietitian are also available for client consultations. In Beauty Med Spa. Inspire the nature of beauty. Visit inbeautyspa.com.